to Mums at the Table with Rachel and Shona. And coming up today, we've got Gia, Olive and Moses in the kitchen doing a huge cook-up, well, bringing us all their great recipes that they usually do. We've also got our wellbeing with Colette, so she'll be talking about wellbeing for our lives. Today is
International Women's Day. Look at our beautiful flowers and we're all dressed up, ready to inspire you.
Now, I've noticed, I think over the last decade, that it's actually increased in terms of people acknowledging it or celebrating it, whatever you want to call, whether it's social media, whether it's the media, you know. People are acknowledging it more than they used to.
Yeah, I think they are. How have you acknowledged it? Is it important to you?
Look, I acknowledge it and only because I really love the women in my life, in my community, and I respect them, and so I'm happy to encourage and celebrate them. But I don't think I sort of go out there. I don't sort of celebrate it the same way you would Mother's Day or Father's Day or Valentine's Day if you do that sort of thing. But what about yourself?
Yeah, look, I'm very much the same, but I appreciate things like Mums at the Table. We're building community for women. We're finding places for women to talk and to communicate with each other, share their problems, share their issues, and celebrate each other.
We have to be in this together. We can't do this separately. Together we're better. I know that sounds cheesy, but it really means something to me to have other women share their stories. And we've got our Facebook page, our Facebook group you can join, Mums at the Table. We've got our magazine.
We've got our e-letter.
Yep, just jump onto our website to subscribe to that. But I think today is a really great day to look at those women in your life, acknowledge them, congratulate them, celebrate them, thank them, and we need to do a lot more of that.
Thanks, Rachel.
Oh, thanks, Joe. So don't forget, if you want to join any of those groups, please jump onto our social media and our website to find out more.
Hey, thanks for joining us for a chat. Now, I know sometimes we look to the outside world for our self-worth, but how can we as parents teach our kids to develop that self-worth? Colette, hit us with it.
So I think it's not just about praising your child all the time. It's actually two-pronged in my mind. It's about letting your child know that they are so valuable to you, that you love them just as they are. As they are is enough.
Yes.
So it's really...
As they are is enough.
Yes.
That's so important because I feel like I said earlier, we try and get validation. A lot of young people do get validation from social media and what people are saying and how many likes, which we can't do anymore. But in saying that, I think it's important for us as parents, what you said,
you are enough.
You're enough.
Yeah. And you don't have to perform, you don't have to do these things for me to love you. And so it's about showering them with truckloads of love, I call it. But on the flip side...
From a young age.
From a young age. Yeah. But then the other prong really is boundaries.
Okay.
So children feel loved when they have boundaries. And so if our children don't have boundaries, I refer to that as being the parent. You are trying to be your child's 40-year-old best friend. And children don't need a 40-year-old best friend. They need us to be their parents. And boundaries make them feel safe, and boundaries develop worth. So it's not just showering your child with love, but with no boundaries and saying, oh, well, do whatever you want, do whatever you feel like doing. They need to feel like they are safe.
So is that putting rules down, family rules that you can both agree to?
Yes.
Or is it consensual? Should you talk to your children about these
I do think you should, but there are some areas that are important because they're safety. So your child doesn't get to decide what time they go to sleep because we know that is not good for their health. But what's fascinating is something that's come up that builds our children's worth is play. Okay. And we're seeing paediatricians prescribe play for children's mental health and to develop their worth. They're prescribing play to parents and saying, play with your children more. There's social interaction that happens, social emotional competence that happens, a whole lot of fine motor and gross motor skills that happen through play. Okay. Play is going to look different for your 2-year-old compared to your 16-year-old. Okay. So playing with your little one might be down on the floor with Legos, but with your 16-year-old would be sitting, even playing a video game with them or playing soccer outside. I love wrestling. Yeah. I'm a big fan of rough and tumble play.
Yeah, I feel sorry for my daughters. There's 4 girls and my husband, they're wrestling and they're only like 3 years old. 4 years old.
There are so many benefits to rough and tumble play.
Okay.
Kids learn boundaries, they learn when to stop, they learn that dad
don't
stops.
Be scared. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and all of those things build worth in our children. So there's many ways that we can be creative. It's not about doing what we think should build our children's worth. It's also asking them, What would you like to do within budget limits? Obviously, it doesn't have to cost money, but what speaks their language? Yeah. What is their love language? And so it's tapping into listening to our children.
I think it's so important. You've talked about love language and interacting with our children from a young age. And play is important as well. So look, for more information from Colette, some great tips, check out our Mums at the Table YouTube channel and subscribe.
All right, so a topic that can probably be over-discussed, I guess, is the idea of housework and the roles it plays in the household, in your family.
Yes.
What was it like for you, Shona?
Look, we've had this discussion
We do.
before. I'm very blessed. I have a husband who acknowledges the work that I do in the home and outside of the home because I'm back working, and he chips in.
Oh, are you blessed, or are you just found someone who was a great teammate that you were able to discuss some of those things with? Because people say it like it's a privilege to have a husband who'll help or acknowledge that stuff, but shouldn't that kind of be an expectation that we both come into this marriage, we both come to the household ready to get the job done?
I don't think it is. I don't think all men have that concept of doing housework. And I don't think all women do either. I'm not just going to say men. I don't think all women have that expectation either. I've got friends where the pair both work, and the husband does a good 80% of the housework and the wife doesn't. So I don't think that expectation is there.
I guess we come from different backgrounds though. Like you come, and when you say expectations, that sort of made me think of where you come from. Like, have you come from a house that was fastidiously clean, not a speck of dust anywhere? Or have you come from a household that's a little bit more relaxed, has a lot of stuff, can work in amongst all the, what someone else would call,
chaos.
Garbage, chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah, that's a better word.
Look, my house, I've always come from, I've been a bit of a neat freak. I wouldn't say that I've got a bit of OCD, but I wouldn't say I'm...
A little bit more than a little bit.
A little bit. My husband came from the chaos house. So he's actually now very grateful that he's married somebody who's got a bit of OCD, because he can see the difference and he can't stand the chaos anymore. But in saying that, we've been married now 20-odd years, and it's taken us a long time to get to that point.
That was going to be my question.
And we did have conversations around what my expectations of jobs were and what his expectations of jobs were, and we've met in the middle.
See, it all sounds very nice to say we had a conversation about expectations, but it can actually take years for you to sort of get that team to work together a little bit more fluidly, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Doesn't
and some
it?
people probably never do. Like with my first husband, it never happened.
No.
And that was part of the whole drama, was that why should I be working and doing everything?
Yeah, but it's a conversation that you have to keep talking about. It's also something you model to your kids as well.
Thank you.
Because they're going to see, how much does Dad do? How much does Mum do? How you negotiate those tasks, how you work through all that. My husband can't even, he won't let one piece of washing be there. He's got to do the washing. And I'm like, if you need to do it that much, you're going to have to take that on.
Yeah. But that's his expectation, and you've allowed him to take that responsibility.
Yeah, what do you do in your home? What's the teamwork, the play that you guys have come up with? We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to jump on our social media, on our Mums at the Table Facebook page. Tell us how your team works.
Making today, Mitchell? We're making unlayered lasagna, Mama. You're right.
You're right. You are right. We are making lasagna, and this is an easy lasagna. But I'm going to use a pressure cooker because for mothers, for me, not having time, a pressure cooker is my best friend because it cooks everything for you. Just throw everything in there and it's pretty easy going. And we're going to start with sautéing. So if you've got a pressure cooker, you can put it on sauté, which I've done. I've put it on high heat, sauté. And do you want to put that in there for me?
I'm right, Mama.
I'm right?
We make sauté and sauce all together in lasagna.
In lasagna, that's right. How about the garlic? Can you put the garlic in? Okay, so what I've done is I've browned the onions, as you can see, enough, just with a little bit of water. I added water as I went, and now the onions are brown and sweet. Okay, and now all you have to do is add the rest of the ingredients in. So what have we got here? I bet you'll try that. So carrots, put it in there. So lentils, red lentils, and we have some, what is this?
Zucchini.
Oh, very good, zucchini.
Mama,
This is a good way to test your kids to know if they know their vegetables. And we've got red capsicum. Capsicum
Put the sauce in.
Yep, you can put the sauce in. Let's get. Okay, can you put the passata, which is just. Oh my goodness. I reckon just let the kids do it and just let them cook for themselves. You can use your own diced tomatoes, so you can dice tomatoes, but I've just used a can. So canned diced tomatoes. Oops, did I get you in the face? What have I got? Onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian herb mix, okay? Now the lasagna sheet. And what we've done is we've just cut up, using our hands, some lasagna sheets, and we throw them in there. One sheet on top and just cover it a bit. So can we put one sheet on top? Okay. And now we're gonna add, this is stock, this is just vegetable stock. So you just add the vegetable stock.
Boil it a little bit.
So I like to add a little bit of salt, maybe half a teaspoon of salt, but you could just flavour it how you please. So, and then we put the lid on. This is what I love about pressure cookers. This is how easy it is. And I put it up to 3 minutes. So it'll take, once it's up to pressure, make sure the valve is closed, the pressure valve is closed. Once it's up at pressure, 3 minutes, okay? So we'll be back to show you what it looks like. Our layered lasagna is ready. I just let it sit until all the steam came out of it. So I've moved it and there's no steam in it. Make sure you turn the valve to make sure there's no steam in it before trying to open it. And I've opened it up and this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna move it to the side so you can see. So, oh, there you go, unlayered lasagna. Look at that. I love putting some spinach on the side. It'll wilt slowly, or you can mix some spinach inside it towards the end. Just put it in there and it'll wilt before. And I like using nutritional yeast flakes instead of cheese on top. They do have a cheesy flavour. B vitamins in it. Done. There's your dinner in like 15, 20 minutes. If you don't have a pressure cooker, don't worry, you could still use a pot. I've got the recipe on our website, mumsathetable.com. Enjoy, let us know what you think. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got heaps of recipes just like this. We'll see you next time.
So, Shona, you going to go and do anything for International Women's Day? Going to congratulate anyone, celebrate them?
Maybe.
If you've got women in your life, don't forget to love on them and appreciate what they're doing. We are in this together. We said that before, didn't we?
We did. Appreciate those around you. Maybe not just only the women, but the men as well.
That's true. I'm pretty sure men have their own International Day.
Do they?
Appreciate each other, is that what you're saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Appreciate everybody. Happy Women's International Day.
See you next time.